First, we're going to read Unshrinking by Kate Manne. Check. Then, we're going to make a first reactions video. Check. Then, we're going to get distracted trying to animate mind maps in Apple Motion and then discover that it's not good enough at splines and you want to use DaVinci Resolve instead, but you don't know how to use the node editor on DaVinci Resolve, so you should probably get back on track and just use pen and paper. Check. Unshrinking by Kate Manne is one of those perspective-changing books. If you take nothing away from this video, take these 3 things. Most people can't permanently control their weight or change their weight, and the act of attempting to leads to weight cycling in most people, which is more unhealthy than just continuing to live. I have a master's degree in bioethics, and one of the things that we discuss a lot is the social construction of race. A lot of the supposed unhealthiness of fatness is itself socially constructed. Many different people's bodies are healthy at many different weights. But we live in a world where people with larger bodies are less likely to be hired. They're less likely to have their claims of violence, assault, and sexual violence taken seriously by the legal system, and they're less likely to be listened to by medical professionals. Weight isn't the unhealthy thing. We have created a world where the consequences of your weight are socially policed to an unhealthy degree. Which brings me to the third major takeaway. Sorry, I had to step away and calm down. Doctors are failing. Doctors are failing patients that they claim to be responsible for. Women go into doctors' offices and are told to lose weight and then are sent on their way, and the doctors pat themselves on the back for being the moral police instead of actually doing their jobs. There's a harrowing personal story in this book about one of the most unhealthy times in the author's life, when she went into the office and her needs were completely ignored by the doctor who was supposed to be taking care of her. And I wouldn't be emphasizing this point so much, except when I posted that first video reacting to the book, there were plenty of women in the comment section saying that this was exactly their experience. If you put a microphone too close to a speaker, it will cause a screeching feedback loop. There is a version of this happening in the medical system right now. Doctors say that fat is unhealthy, and so they police and judge and ignore the legitimate medical issues of fat people who come to their offices. So fewer fat people go to the doctor, which leads to collectively worse outcomes. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy, and doctors need to do better. And the twisted reality is that some doctors will believe me saying this because of the body that I am in, and not the fat people who tell the stories themselves. That is called testimonial injustice. It's covered on page 140, but I'm out of time for this video. I'm going to cover these other topics in future videos. This whole operation is logistically complicated though, so it will take some time. My plan right now is to jump to Eat Your Heart Out Nietzsche, Eat Your Heart Out Kierkegaard, and talk about Mary Oliver versus Plato. That's just me because I'm a philosophy nerd, but if any of these topics jump out to you, talk to me in the comments and I will try to prioritize them. Though also, you could read you can read it yourself. You know, I don't like to plug myself after a serious video, but it's how I fund my research, so I have to get used to it. Patreon is the best way to fund my work. Liking and sharing and subscribing and commenting and the other things are the pedagogical tools of the attention economy these days. I'll be covering more later. Pick up a copy of this book. You will be glad that you did. Thanks all.